T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Own it, own it, own it, Kong. I own it. It did.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is I, Meek the Mage, here with my wonderful, wonderful co-host, King Cat We Trust, Katrina, here for your indie wrestling wrap-up for Saturday morning. Listen, we're tired. It has been a week. There is still things happening this week, because I think we have Hell in a Cell tomorrow. We're tired, but we're here, and we're going to cover it. It has been a slow indie week, but we're going to give y'all what we got. Got a little entertainment here and a little Joshi rundown. We're going to give you guys what we got. How you feeling today, Kat?
Tired. Definitely tired. It is officially noon by me. So, but tired. But what can you do, right? That's life.
Right. Exactly.
Just push on.
We're gonna push on. We're gonna do it. We're not gonna delay today. We'll get right into it. Shout out to Emily, our other co-host. She is spending time with her family today. So I hope they are enjoying a wonderful brunch with her parents. We do love and miss you. We will catch you next week, right back here. So we're gonna start at the top today. Warrior Wrestling. I enjoy Warrior Wrestling very much. They are out of Illinois, if I remember correctly, where, like we mentioned last week, Athena, formerly known as Ember Moon, is the current women's champion there. Now, I know we did get to see her on AEW Rampage yesterday, get the win over Kiera Hogan, but that is not the only thing she is doing. She just recently had a match against the Kick Demon herself, Janai Kai, and retained her Warrior Wrestling women's title. She retained. Janai is a really great competitor, and so I can't wait to see the match when it actually drops. I think it's going to drop on not Fight, but I think the indie matches or Title Match Network. But yeah, it was good to see her and Janai in a match. Good to see Janai getting some more love. I love her. I want her to be on TV all the time because she's great. Young girl and a ridiculous, like we said, the Kick Demon is not a understatement. If you have never seen her kick the life out of somebody, it is something to see. Any opinion? I know you didn't get to see it because we didn't get to see much this week, but any opinions on these two competitors?
I do like Janai as well. I've been very fortunate to see her in quite a few shows here in the New York and Jersey area. I worked a show with her 2 weeks ago or so, and so she had a really awesome match with Tristan Tai, and she won that match, and she did a lot of kick, like her final part to win that was a like super awesome kick to the face, and I was like, That's right. I love Tristan Ty. He's super awesome also, but it was nice to kind of see. I love seeing her wrestle in general just because she can take on both men and women. And,
Mm-hmm.
she's, has her fighting skill set, not only with wrestling, but the other stuff that she does as well. I don't want to get what I know she does wrong at the moment. It's like not in my head at the moment, but she's an amazing competitor, and I know I'm friends with her on Facebook. And so when she was posting about the match with Athena, I was hyped for that just because Athena also is a really good competitor, and so I thought that
Mm-hmm.
was like a nice different like types of styles of wrestling. And so while I'm hopefully when the match drops I can watch it um and see what they did, but I'm sure they delivered. They're both really fantastic competitors, and again, Athena is a good champion to have, but I like seeing Janai get her shine too. I'm loving that I'm noticing her on more and more promotions, and so that's good.
I agree. Maybe that can be a match if it's up by next week. We can watch on the show and kind of go back and look at and see. We'll see, guys. We'll be trying to pull some matches to watch live because, like we said, we know it is very difficult for everyone to catch all of the wrestling that's going on. It's difficult for us, and it's partially our job. So we're gonna bring all that we can to you guys. So we'll look into seeing. Maybe we'll be able to get that one for next week. But also on that same card, we did have a singles match between Deanna Perazzo and Tutti Lynn. Tutti Lynn is up and coming. I enjoy her aesthetic. She's a little cutie. Um, and apparently the match was really good, but Deanna did pull out the win. It is interesting to see Deanna with no belts currently because we've been watching multi-belt Deanna for months now. So it's really weird to see her come out, even on Impact, come out just kind of walking, and you're like, something's missing here. Um, but again, just like the previous match, Deanna and Tootie are both amazing competitors. So I'm almost positive that this match delivered as well. Um, I mean, Deanna Perazzo is who she is. She's wonderful. Um, Tootie is up and coming. If you have not got a chance to follow her, she has a good Twitter presence. That's a good way to kind of catch some of her stuff, see her matches and things like that. But yeah, Deanna got the win on that one. And that was the two women's matches on that Warrior Wrestling card. Have you got to see Tootie wrestle? I think she's on your coast as well, isn't she?
I've seen like in person. No, I have got to see her matches,
Mm,
but I haven't seen her in person yet. I do think she's like definitely a rising star in wrestling. Like she's really good. And so I'm again, it's like Deanna Perosa. She's amazing. And it is kind of sad to not see her with her belts, because she was dominating at one time. She was really like, HBIC,
mhm.
sis was she was doing what she needed to do. She was like, holding all the belts and making all the moves. And so I guess everybody, you have to get the breaks. And so I get like, there's a little less, like not that you work less without a belt, but there's more expected when you're a champion. And so
Right.
I guess, Deanna can get that little break a little bit, but I expect her to have a belt again soon. Again, she's a fantastic wrestler. But Tootie is again definitely a rising star in wrestling right now. And what I was able to see of Tootie, I did like, and so I would love to see her in person one day. Just kind of it's a different feel to see wrestlers in person than it is to kind of watch it on like the laptop or watch it online or on TV. It's always a different feel when you're kind of right there in the audience and watching them work and get the audience involved. It's always a different feeling, and so I would love to see her in person. But from everything I've seen of her so far, I really enjoyed. So I'm sure that was an amazing match as well.
I agree. I agree. Well, we're going to move forward. A new promotion that I'm not very familiar with, but I did get to see that there's somebody that had actually two matches on this promotion. We are talking about Diamond Championship Wrestling. As we know, a lot of the AEW and Impact kids get to wrestle outside of their respective companies that they are contracted to. And Alicia Edwards is one of those people. And so it looks like she had this week two separate matches, but on the same show. They did a Queen of Diamond qualifying match where Casey Lennox actually went over Alicia Edwards to qualify for the next round of their tournament. If I believe if I remember correctly, that tournament is qualifying to see who their number one contender is for their women's championship. Don't quote me. Don't quote me. But I think that's what it's for. And it's interesting to see Casey Lennox go over Alicia. Um, Alicia's been in the business, oh, I think it's almost 20 years now. She's been wrestling a very, very, very long time.
Yeah.
And so it's cool to see her still putting over, younger, new talent. On that same card, she also was in a mixed tag match with, I will say, the infamous Tommy Dreamer against Diamos and Teal Piper. And Alicia and Tommy did get the win on that one. So it looks like she split her appearances on that card, 1-1, 1 win, 1 loss. But it was very interesting to see her particularly on that card and wrestling competitively, I guess, in that promotion, because we all know in Impact right now she's kind of chilling, after whatever happened with Eddie Edwards and Honor No More and all of that going on, and she came out and kind of called him out for his behavior. After that, she really has been kind of quiet. So I was glad I was able to catch and see that happened. I know you definitely didn't get to see anything. But we do know Casey Lennox. We do know Alicia Edwards. And of course, we know Tommy Dreamer, whether you have good or bad opinions about him, he exists. I didn't have much to say about it. I mean, Alicia's a good competitor. Like I said, she's a veteran, but I feel like she still learns a lot. And when you watch her, you'll see something new from her. It's like she kind of still tries to keep herself fresh. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. I do respect, in general, in like all aspects of like work and life, if you're like doing something for a long time, but you're always willing to like, be mendable, being able to like retain and want to learn other things, and again keep it fresh, but being willing to change it up. Wrestling has changed over the years. How wrestling was like from like the 60s, 70s, 80s until like the 90s, and then now how wrestling is so different now, and there's so many different styles of wrestling we are seeing more in a more known, like it's more becoming more of a thing where you're seeing different types of wrestling, and so it's always good to want to make sure you can kind of stick with that and make sure you can just add something new, even if you still have your basic core of what makes you a wrestler. And so I definitely respect that. I was interested in, I guess, with regards to her being both, like, you did a singles match, then you did a tag team match. And while tag team wrestling kind of puts, like, you work with your partner, but it also kind of, everything is not solely on you. And so I don't know if that's why they did it that way, because like she wrestled both times, but she also had a partner in the second one. And so that seems like it makes a little less work, I guess, having to do a singles match. I do know who Casey Lennox is. And so again, maybe this is their way of trying to put over younger talent. Since Alicia's been wrestling for so long, maybe this was her way of kind of helping that, like, it's fine, Casey, goes over. And again, I respect always wanting to try to help the younger talent. That's also sometimes very important. How we heard stories, sometimes you got the older wrestlers who don't really, feel like they're, because they've wrestled for so long that, it's about them all the time, and not realizing sometimes you gotta lend that helping hand and push somebody over with you. And so I like that aspect. Like, I'm assuming that's what they were trying to do with that, having Casey kind of get some shine, and had somebody like Alicia, who is a veteran, like help out with that. And so that's what I'm taking it as. But I did not see, sadly, it's just been a really crazy week, been a really, really busy week, unfortunately. And so it's been insane trying to watch all the wrestling,
It really
especially
has.
pay-per-view last weekend, and we have one coming up, I believe two. I believe there's the NXT one today, if I'm not mistaken, and then there's the Hell in the Cell tomorrow. And so a lot of wrestling happening. It's really a lot of wrestling. So sometimes it's really hard to catch up on everything and be like completely attuned. I don't think anybody can, honestly. with all the wrestling that goes on, that's just on TV, online, and then there's the indie wrestling. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I definitely would like to see what they was able to do with that.
Agreed. We'll have to see if we can get that one to come up as well. I know it's a smaller promotion, so I'm not sure if we will have access to it, but if we do, I think the match would be interesting to watch. So we are at the point of the show where there's a new segment that's going to kind of come up now whenever this happens. So again, we talked about it a little bit. The indie wrestling scene was pretty slow this week. Gratefully so, honestly, because there's a lot of stuff going on with the majors. There was no MLW show. There was no NWA show. Ring of Honor had one match, which we will get to. A lot of the indie promotions did not have anything this weekend. There is one. We will get there. And some about talk about some things coming up. But I'll tell you who was not resting. The Joshi were not resting. Okay. They were all the way turned up. And we're going to get into that. I know a lot of people are not privy to be able to be able to watch Stardom, and Joshi wrestling and things like that. And it's hard for us because the time difference, trying to watch everything is crazy. But we are grateful for the people that do. And I think Katrina has a rundown kind of what happened this week with the Joshi. And so I am going to turn it over to my wonderful, wonderful co-host and let her get you guys all caught up on all things Joshi.
Yeah, I when we was looking for things for this week, I didn't realize it was this much Jersey wrestling. Like it's literally a lot for the last week. I want to say starting from like May 26th until yesterday. I believe it might have been yesterday or it might have been on the 31st, but it's a lot. And so I'm gonna apologize now. I may struggle with some of the names, and it's not on purpose. It's just yeah. So I'm hoping I say this right. But the first show, which was on May 26th, which was the Gato Move May Suruga debut show, I believe it's their 4th anniversary show. And so there was about 4 or 5 matches on that card. So I'm not sure if any of the viewers are familiar with this promotion or with Josie in general, but I'm gonna just list the matches that was there for that. So we had Chun Shuru versus Shuri, who they went over on that match between Antonio Honda and Tokyo Kiriha and Corey. There's a lot of Jesus, I just realized this is one group. So apparently it seemed like there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There was like I'm gonna say a 6-on-2, which is very odd. I'm looking at like it says defeated all of them, and so maybe it was a 2-2-2, and maybe that's what was going on. But pretty much Chan Shuru and Shuri defeated that match, which was I think the first match on that card. And then after that we had Haruka Yumasaki, and she defeated Koshikawa. Again, I'm so sorry if I'm butchering names. There's a lot of names I'm trying to pronounce. I probably should have tried to do this before next time to get their
We'll
names.
work on it. We'll work on it, guys. Work in progress.
And then after that, we had Balian Aki Saki and Yuna Mizumori, who defeated Shinu Makato and Sayaka, which was the third match on that card. And then there was the Asia Dream Tag Team Championship match for that promotion. And so it was Chris Brooks and Mishori Takanashi who defeated Native Champions, and they did retain, and they defeated Makami and Tano Mastova. So nice to see some tag team action as well on that promotion. And then the last match for that particular show was Mei Suruga, and they defeated Suzumi. And so that was just, May 26th show. Again, I'm actually not familiar with that promotion, but now that I know, I'm probably going to check out some of their stuff as well. So then we're moving on to Stardom, and some people do know. If you know nothing else about Joshi, you know who Stardom is. You have some people like Makai Atoi, who appeared in AEW multiple times, and she's somebody who does wrestle at Stardom. And so they had a show on May 28th. A really, really intense card, and so we're about to go through that. So the first matchup was and the winners of that match was Saya Lita, Momo Kohogo, and Lady C, and they defeated Amy Saru, Hina, and Rina, who I do know who they are, and so that was pretty, nice to see. There was also the Future of Stardom Championship, and the champion Hunan did defeat Wayoka, and so she retained her championship for that match. There was also a matchup which I now want to see because it says or rather, I guess it's supposed to be for a future match. So it's just tap outs to Mocha Anabe, and she challenged Hunan for a match in the future, which I'm gonna assume it's for the Future of Stardom Championship, since Hunan is a champion for that. And I've got to see Hunan work some matches before. I think she's a really good wrestler as well, and so I feel like this is going to be, whenever this future match happens, that this will probably be a really awesome match. So then we had stable versus stable, and so it was Prominence, which is Suzu Suzuki, Akan Fujita, and Moki Natsushi, and they defeated Cosmic Angels, which is Mina Shirakawa, Yunagi Shayaka, and Waka Tsusuyama. Probably pronounced that super wrong. But that was also one of the matches on that card. And then we're going down to the high speed championship, and the champion AZM did defeat Talkla for that. She retained her title as well. And then right after, Momo Kohoga challenged AZM for a title match in the future. And so I'm assuming these are kind of setting up for their future shows or future pay-per-views, because there's a lot of like champion will win their match and then somebody is coming out and kind of challenging them. And so I think that's pretty cool. And so that should be a good match also in the future. We also had the SWA Undisputed World Championship match, and Mark Iwatani, who is the champion, did retain, and she defeated Fuki Jin Death. I do not know who that one is, but I do know who Mayu is, and so another fantastic wrestler. And so I'm hoping to kind of catch the Stardom event, because it seemed like there was a lot of good matches on the card. And then the next matchup was a tag team match, and it was Kairi and Tam Nakano. And I feel like people should know at least who they are. They've also been on the PWI 150 list. So again, if you don't really know Josie, these are some women that you definitely should know of. They've been really killing it. They defeated Utami Hachishida, and again, she's also really like a really amazing, like super badass in Stardom. I really like her. And her tag partner was Miyu Amasaki, but they did lose that match. Again, Utami usually dominates, and so I guess she could take this L for this one time. I feel like, normally she's the one kind of really doing her thing. And then there was the Goddess of Stardom Championship, and I believe this is a tag team championship. And so the champions, which was FWC, which is Hazuki and Kaguma, and they did defeat which their team is called Oh My Gula, and it's Mai Sakura and Gaiula. And so I guess that's their names combined. And so they also retained. So far, it seemed like there was no title changes happening on this show. And then there was the Artist of Stardom Championship, which was, I believe, another stable matchup. So it's Ito Tai, which is Saki Kashihima, Momo Wanati, and Starlight Kid, who I do know. And they defeated Maika, Haimika, and Natsupui, and they were the champions. I guess so. Maybe it looked like they may have a new I just said that. There might not have been a championship change, but it seemed like there was a championship. I'm guessing this is like a trios. I feel like this is a trios championship since there's 3. And so I guess the new Stardom champion, Artists of Stardom champions are Idol Tai, which is pretty cool. So there was a title change. So that's pretty cool. I got to check that match out as well. Then we had the Wonder of Stardom Championship, and the champion retained Saya Kamatani, and she defeated Mirai for that. And then Starlight Kid, who was just in 2 matches previous, did challenge Saya for a title match in the future. And so again, it seems to be a thing where the champion will retain and then somebody will challenge. And so that was cool. We also had the World of Stardom Championship, and the champion Shuri did defeat Risa Sira, and so she retained. And then Momo came out and challenged her for a title match in the future. And so that seems like a pretty solid Stardom card. And that was like last week, I think. I want to say like last Saturday or Sunday they had that matchup for the card for
Now,
Stardom.
I forget that Stardom has that many belts. They have so many championship titles.
Yeah.
When I go through it, I'm like, goodness, everybody got a belt. It's so many belts.
Like I respect it because there's a lot of women on the Stardom card. But like they got the tag team champions, the main champions, the other champions. You have the there's clearly a trios. Like there's no way that's tagged with all those people involved. So I'm gonna take that
Exactly.
trios. I probably looked it up to confirm that. But then there was an afternoon show as well. Apparently, Ice Ribbon has an afternoon show and an evening show on the same day, which is insane to me that they did 2 different shows. But I respect hard work. They work, Joshi, they work hard over there in Japan. Japanese wrestling in general has a very different work rate than American wrestling. And so personally I couldn't do that, but that's me. So the Ice Ribbon afternoon show was the Yokohama Ribbon 2020 of May, which is also on May 28th. And so that card was Abuki Hoshi and Saran defeated Cherry and Yappy. And so that was the first match for that card. We also had Humuku Hoshi and Makoto defeat Bani Akawa and Saki for that. We had Spy Sap, which was Mikey Uzoka and Tohanama, and they defeated Kaho Matsushita and Yuki Mashiro. For that, there was also the Ice Infinity Championship Tournament first round. And so the first round matches was a 3, I believe. The first one was Amen, who defeated Sumika Yanagawa. And then we had Sori Anu defeated Hikari Shimizu. And then Totaru Shatsuki defeated Na Asawaka. And that was for the first half of that for the afternoon show. And then their evening show, which again is insane that they did 2 different shows. We had Hamuki Hoshi, Madeline, and Totaru Satsuki, and they defeated Emin, Haruki Yumasaki, and Nayo Asawaka. And then again, there's some more championship tournament first round matches. And so Mikey Ozaki defeated Saran. We had Makoto defeat Yuku Sakuri. Ibuki Hoshi defeated Nisa Kagura. We had Galaxy Punch, which features Saki and Hardworker Shimzu, and they defeated Yappy and Bani Aqua. And then we had Yuki Mashiru defeat Kayo Masosita, excuse me, for those 2 shows on from Ice, which again is absolutely insane to me. How they did 2 shows in the same day. And then we had this is I feel like this is a more of a smaller promotion, and Joshi has been actually never heard of them, but they're called Diana and Kawasaki, which was May 29th. And so there were 4 matches on that card. And so it was Maihu Matsushita and Madeline defeated Haruka Yumasaki and Himiko. And I feel like a lot of these women kind of interchange with some of these promotions because I'm seeing a few of them pop up multiple times. And so I'm assuming a lot of these like smaller promotions use a lot of the women that was also in Stardom, which again makes sense to me. Again, Joshi wrestling is very specific as far as like the different style sets in there. So for that we had Maihu Matsui and Madeline, I think I said, and then we had Deborah K versus Nanami, which was a 10-minute draw, so there was no winner in that match. We had Kayoki Anu and Miran, who defeated Saran and Yappy. And then we also had Ayako Seda, and they defeated Kaku and Nayo Ashiwaka. So again, I feel like a lot of these women kind of bounce between the promotions. And then on the same day, we also had Prominence Kyun Ranbu, which is also on May 29th. Quite a few matches on the card as well. And so there was Tesabu Karagai, I'm probably messed that up. And she defeated Atsu Aki and Mayoko Matsumui, and that was a hardcore match. And so that's a match I feel like I kind of want to see. It's always nice to see them two hardcore matches because they're like super hardcore. Even I feel like even sometimes more than American wrestling is a westernized wrestling, Japanese wrestling hardcore matches are a bit intense. And so I feel like this is probably a really good match. And so I want to see if I can catch that. I gotta see if I can find any of this actually online anywhere because I know Joshi and Japanese wrestling sometimes a bit hard to find online. Just me watching New Japan sometimes and trying to catch up with that. It'd be like 2 o'clock in the morning in New York, and I'm trying to watch like a crazy person trying to catch up watching and being tight and stuff. And so, then it was Yuki Makazaki, and she was also another hardcore match, and she defeated Mochi Natsumi. And then there was also a third hardcore match for there, and it was Dash Chisako defeat Akane Fujita, which seems pretty cool. And then there was a death match apparently. It was called Corner Free Weapon Valkyrie Death Match. So that's a really interesting name for that. That probably was a really interesting match as well. And so it was Risa Serra versus Zuzu Suku, but it ended in a 30-minute draw. And so I feel like that probably was a pretty solid match. There was also Saki and Yuko Sakuri, and they defeated Chai Usura and Sira. There was Yu who defeated Akari. There was Hanako Nakamori versus Haruyu Matsuzumi, and that also ended in the 15-minute draw. And again, these women has also been on multiple Joshi promotions, and so again, I think that's what's happening with them, kind of just transitioning between promotions. And then there was a group called Wanted, which is Kazuki and Raiden Hagin, and they defeated Waga Yokota and Magami Yabuzujita, excuse me. And then there was a Daily Sports Tag Team title for the number one contendership match. And that was Kakuru Sakuji and Kairo Yanama, and they defeated Cherry and Leon for that. So I'm guessing they are now the number one contenders for the next tag team match up for that promotion. So that's pretty good. And now we are at, which was also on, apparently there was a lot of shows on May 29th, which again is insane to me that all these promotions were working. But then again, a lot of the same women popped up on both promotions, on multiple promotions, which is insane to me. So this was the TJPW Spring Tour of 2022. And so we had quite a few matches on the card as well. And so it was Pam Harajuku and Raku who defeated Hikaru Noah and Kaya Tarabami, who I do know Kaya. And so want to see if I catch that match as well. We had Hypo Maso who defeated Maihu Kairu and Naikado. So I'm going to assume that was a triple threat match. Rio defeated Yuki Ani, and and I do know who Rio is, so that's pretty cool. And then Yuki Kamaku defeated Michael Miyamoto. Rika Tatsumi defeated Arushu Endo. We had Mizuki, who I do know, defeated Haruna Neko, who I know as well. And so I'm sure that was a really good match. They're both really also talented wrestlers. We had Shoko Najimi defeated Yuki Arai. Again, two people that have also popped up in the show earlier at a different promotion, which again, crazy to me. And then we had Mu Watambi versus Suzumi, which also ended in a 10-minute draw. I'm assuming that was the main event. Again, I know who Suzumi is, and so I want to catch that match if I can. So many different promotions. And so also on May 29th, because again, Joshi was really busy that day, apparently, we have Wave the Trust de la Zona Volume 4, which was 4 matches. And so we had Nagisa, Nokozi, and Saki defeated Sei and Yu. There was a Catch the Wave Future Block, which I'm not really sure what kind of match that is, but it was I'm guessing they're saying it says 4 and 3, so I don't know if it's one of those kind of matches where it's like you get multiple victories, like where it's like 1-1 or 1-2 or something like that. I'm guessing. I don't want to assume. But that match was Kayuku versus Rico, which ended in a 15-minute draw. And then we had Catch the Wave Click and Block, which was Hanako Nakamura versus Hikuru Shimizu, which was also a 15-minute draw. And then the Catch the Wave Future Block, Haruka Yumasaki, who defeated Chai Ozura. So that was that for Waves match, event on May 29th. And then the last one for May 29th, again, a lot of Joshi shows, which is insane that people was keeping up with that. We had the JTO Girls Tournament Round 1 for 2022. And so there was Arita Renayami and Taka Manaku, who defeated Akira Jumonji, Genta Yabari, and Kenichi. And then we had Fire Katsumi and Sika defeated Eagle Mask and Ryu Takura, who I do know who that is. And so I want to see that match. And in the JTO Girls Tournament Round 1, there were 3 Round 1 matches for this event. And so it was Ao who defeated Bull Misa. Misa Kagura defeated Samika Yanagawa, and Tomoka Aniba defeated Rhythm. And so I don't really know the rest of the women on that card, but again, I want to see if I can check some of that out because again, they were busy. They were definitely working on May 29th, which is insane to me. And then the last Joshi event, which happened on May 31st, which was Marvelous at Shinkiba. It says First Ring. I'm guessing that's the name of the event. And then there was Tomoke Watanabe, who again popped up quite a few of these events. And she defeated Ai Hazun. And then there was Yuki Mazaki defeated Mochi Natsumi. We had Brian Azaki and Takiro Koturo, who defeated Hibiscus Mill and Leo Azaki. So I'm feeling there's a couple of dudes in this, which is pretty, I guess, cool as well. And then we had Takumi Arua and Yuri defeated Chaka Nakazami and Yurika O. Maria Ayami Sasumi and Riko Kawata defeated Atsi, Aku, Ren Kaduka, and Yu. Again, Yu popped up in about 5 of these events. And then Mi Monomo was injured apparently, and she announced her return. And I'm guessing that was a really big deal from the way this is written. And so that wraps up all of the Joshi that happened in the last 7 days. Again, a lot of them was on May 29th, which is insane because a lot of them worked multiple shows in that day. So that's,
Yeah.
and again, their work rate is, I could never. I would probably quit really quickly. If that was me personally, I would quit. I just can't do that many shows and do that at a high pace and do it well.
Mhm.
Couldn't be me. But power to all of those women in Joshi wrestling. Again, they really worked this last week. I'm not sure if they have anything coming up. I'm sure they probably do. But yeah, that's it for the Joshi wrestling.
Listen. This is what we're gonna do. We are gonna give my good friend here a round of applause because
I don't know if I
listen.
can hear you. I don't know if it's me. It might be me though. Let me see.
Let's see.
Oh no, yeah, my speakers, everything is
There we go.
fine.
So I just want to give Katrina a round of applause here. Katrina ran that down like a freaking pro. You can't hear me? Wonder if they can hear me. I know Sam was here.
Yeah,
Sam,
I can't hear you.
Let's see. All right, am I back?
Maybe
Still not
it's
back.
me. I don't know.
Wonder, we have one person watching. I wonder
I
if they
honestly
can.
might. I'm gonna like pop out and pop in.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Then yeah, let me pop out and pop in and see if that helps.
While we're waiting for Katrina, I don't know if it was her, if it was me. It could have been me. It is very, like we said, very early, very long day. Just trying to get it together and bring the news to y'all. But like I said, we're definitely thankful
Okay,
for
I am
Katrina.
back.
Can you hear
But I
me?
don't know if I can hear you still, which is really odd.
That is
Let me see
odd.
what's going on. See these tech issues. These tech issues, man.
And I can
Let's
pop
see.
out. Let me pop out.
Sorry, guys, who is watching. We are experiencing tech issues.
We are. Can you hear me? Still can't hear me.
I'm really not hearing you, and I think everything is good on my audio. My speakers working.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine too.
This
Yeah.
is so weird. Because you hear me, I'm assuming, but I cannot hear you.
Yep, I've been popping in and out. Still can't hear me?
Nope. Okay, let me see if I try this instead. Let me. I can hear you now, I think.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yeah. I just changed browsers. I was like, maybe it's my browser. So we're
So
good.
weird. So weird. Well, listen, we're going to go ahead. I see the little one over there. We'll go ahead and wrap up pretty quickly. We don't have too much left. We have one Ring of Honor match that happened, of course, as they do on AEW. It was Mercedes Martinez, and she got to wrestle the recently graduated with all 5 of her titles, Vivian Van.
Yeah.
And it was actually a really good match. I did get to catch part of this one, but Mercedes did retain her Ring of Honor championship. So again, we're kind of just curious as to what's going to happen with that championship, because it looks like everyone that they put against her, they just put against her to fall. So I don't know what's going to happen, or if there's actually going to ever be a competitor. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I did see that. So this was a match I got to see because Viva Van is my girl. I love her. I think she's absolutely fantastic, and she's also, I believe, a 4-belt.
And we lost Katrina again. It now says her device is not connected. Really strange. Okay, she's popped out. I think she's going to pop back in here, and we'll see if we can get it done. If not, we can end it early. Ring of Honor was really the last thing we had to cover.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know. Tech is like crazy today.
It is.
Yeah, I love Viva Van. She's, I believe, holds 4 belts currently, and so she's like 4-belt champion, which is like super insane to me. I didn't think she was gonna win. It would have been super awesome if she would have come out with 5 belts. But I do feel like what they're doing with Mercedes right now, and again, I think Mercedes deserves this. Of kind of being like a good champion and a fighting champion, and she's allowed to kind of shine. I feel like Mercedes been also in wrestling for a really long time, and a lot of times she was in promotions that didn't always appreciate, what she brought to wrestling and what she brought into the ring. And so I don't think she's losing it anytime soon, but I do like that her opponents are always like really dope opponents. Like she had Trish Adora the week before. I got to see that in person. It was a really good match. And then now again we have Viva Van, who's also a fantastic wrestler from the West Coast. And so I was hyped for it when I saw the announcement. I was like, yes, my girl. But I didn't think she was going to win. I would have been nice. I would have been extra hyped for her. But again, I think they're making Mercedes be very dominant. And so I don't know what they plan as far as if it's going to be a point which she will lose it at some point. But as of right now, she is completely undefeated in all of her title defenses. And so it was a good match, though. That was a match I did get to see. Really, really, really good match.
Yes, I agree. Well, because of these tech issues, we are going to go ahead and wrap it up. I'm just going to run through real quick some upcoming things to be aware of, and then we will close with a little funny clip from Hoodslam, which is also on the West Coast, and then we will get out of here for the day. So we do have upcoming Tyler's Day Off. This is a indie show that's actually happening tonight. One of the things on that card is the Babe versus the Bully. We have Willow Nightingale versus Billy Starks on that card. Here is the poster, the official poster for that card. There are a number of great people shown on here. So if you get the chance to check that out, if you're in Indiana or if you can watch it, because it is going to stream, it says exclusively live on. If you see that down there, go ahead and catch it for my indie wrestling loves. We also have, again, Viva Van going against Danica over there in, I think, Washington with Defy Wrestling. So that's going to be a good one. But this one is until June 25th. So you got some time to get your snacks, get your streams, all of that ready. We do have the reality wrestling card, the new reality, from Prestige Wrestling, which has Mia Yim and Willow Nightingale again on that card, as well as Kid Bandit on that card. So shout out to Kid Bandit. We love Kid Bandit here. Shout out to everyone. Pride Month. Make sure that you are supporting all of your wrestlers. They all deserve your support. And then we also recently got some drops from Black Wrestle Fest, which will be happening Juneteenth weekend in New York. We do have some matches that were announced. This one is probably going to be the one that I will be glued to watching. Big Swole, wonderful, amazing person and great talent, taking on Willow Nightingale for the Battle Club Pro Icons title. She's been holding that title for a good while, so we'll see if Willow will be able to take it off of her. We also have a mixed match with Darius Carter versus Gia Scott. So that should be good. Darius usually puts on really good matches. And then we have Joseph Alexander and Jordan Blade versus Cosmic and Rembrandt. So these are three of the matches that involve women that they've listed so far. Black Wrestle Fest will be a whole deep, in-depth weekend. There'll be podcasts, there'll be panels, there will be all types of things going on. Pretty Heels, Jobber Tears. So many people are.
Yeah, I believe Stephanie will be there on her Friday Wrestling podcast. Will be there, and I believe, I'm not sure if it's going to be announced or not, but I will be stepping in for Women's Wrestling Talk since I do live in New York City. So I will be around Black Wrestle Fest that weekend, just kind of showcasing what we here at Women's Wrestling Talk have to offer. So
there it is. You heard it here first, and exclusive. Well, like we said, it has been a slow weekend for indie wrestling, but I did want to end on a high note. Hoodslam did have a show in Oakland yesterday. The card was very erratic, as Hoodslam usually is. But there was a particular match that I want to share a clip with you guys from. We had this match here happen. It was Suge D, Trish Adora, and D-Rogue versus Ashton Starr, Jay the God, and Brittany Wonder with Faye Jackson. Now, if y'all know anything about the Creep Squad versus the Wholesome Gang, it gets a little dicey between them. Suge being the leader of the Wholesome Gang. Faye, of course, as y'all know, leader of the Creep Squad. And there was a little interaction that happened. So y'all tune in. Let's watch what happened here.
Enjoy the view. Faye Jackson.
Twerking hard or hardly twerking?
I'm enjoying what's going on. I'm not gonna lie.
Can't take anything away from the twerking rate. Suge looks like he's seen a ghost. Suge putting a stop to it.
Are you serious? Trish, you do what you want to do. You a queen, girl.
Listen, the shenanigans, okay? We had Trish, who's supposed to be on the side with the Wholesome gang, getting drawn into the antics of the Creep Squad. The Creep Squad did end up getting the win in that match. If you do have the opportunity, please go back and watch Hoodslam. It's a good old hot mess time there out in Oakland. The weather was beautiful. Clearly, they were able to have the event outside, which is amazing. But I just wanted to share with you guys that indie wrestling is fun. We're going to have fun. We're going to have the shenanigans. We're going to do the things. But yes, because of tech issues, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up today. Thank everybody who has been here with us, rocking with us week 2. We will be back again. Emily, we will see you back as well. Katrina, tell them where to find you.
I guess before I do that, I don't know if the article went up, but MLW did announce that Scarlett Bordeaux will be making her MLW debut at Battle Riot, which will happen in New York City. And since MLW's show we would normally cover, thought that was pretty cool. They, try to work on their women's roster about time. And so she's now being added to the women's roster there. And I believe Tyra Valkyrie is currently the MLW champion over there.
She is the featherweight champion.
Yeah,
so Holly Berry is the women's champion, and Holly Berry and Tyra fought for the new featherweight.
Scarlett will be the featherweight division from what I was reading. And she did put the division on notice, and so I don't know if that's to Tyra or that's to the other women on the MLW roster, but she did put them on notice. She will be debuting in New York City at Battle Riot, so there's just a good piece of information I want to throw out there. I forgot, that was MLW. That is part of what we cover, and so
it is
there, and so hopefully she has better success with MLW than we was able to see in WWE. Let's hope she has more success. I wish her again. I'm hoping I could be at that show for New York City because normally they're in Philly and a girl don't drive, so I never can make those events. But should be a pretty awesome event, I'm assuming. And again, she's the smoke show, and so I'm sure she's going to bring all of that fabulousness to MLW, and so that should be exciting. As far as where you guys can find me, I'm pretty much on everything: TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. In Cat We Trust. The E is a 3 on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter because somebody had it first, I guess. But I am pretty much everywhere on there. And if you are on TikTok, make sure to check out Women's Wrestling Talk TikTok. I do run that account. Usually put some super awesome clips up there, and maybe we can get some funny things up there at some point. If hosts will be okay with that, but we'll figure that out. But TikTok's awesome, so if you're on there, definitely also check out Women's Wrestling Talk on TikTok.
Yes. Y'all know where to find me, Meek the Mage, making magic on all the things. Again, we'll go ahead and give you a quick rundown of our weekly shows. We will start today since we are here today. Saturdays is just usually this, but we will have NXT in your house. I don't know if there will be a post show for it. I cannot remember, but that pay-per-view is happening today. So if you do follow NXT, make sure you check that out. Tomorrow will be Hell in a Cell. So tomorrow there will be a Hell in a Cell live watch along with Ella J. And I think there's also a post show. And then of course Turnbuckle Glam will be there for you guys as well. Mondays we have the news with Santana and Nikki, the Salt Shakers. And then we have the Raw post show with the same Salt Shakers that day. Tuesday is your day off, but not really, because you can go check out all the wonderful content we have on all of our Women's Wrestling Talk platforms. Wednesday is the Dynamite Dolls, me and Al, bring you your Dynamite post show. This Thursday, there will not be a Creep Squad show, guys. Remember, it's every 2 weeks. If you missed the Creep Squad show this week, please go back and watch it. The main event are amazing. I have to commend them. They held it down. Gannon is hilarious. He was trying to be wholesome the whole time, and with the other two on the show and his own partner, it was real hard for him to stay that way. Check out our Instagram. We did get a clip of Gannon's water bottle proficiency, is what I would call it.
So that clip is also on TikTok.
And it's really something to see. If you've never witnessed the main event's interests and witnessed Gannon do his thing with a Gatorade bottle. It is really spectacular. But we also on Thursdays, we have my girl here, wonderful, doing the NXT and NXT UK post show. We also have news coming to you live on Thursday, and we have the Impact post show coming to you live on Thursday. Thursday's our day, okay?
Yeah,
Thursday
is definitely the day.
Thursday. Exactly. And then Friday, of course, we just have the SmackDown and Dynamite post show with Santana, our EIC, and Stephanie. Also, remember that this is Pride Month, so you will be seeing some articles drop from our wonderful writing team, which Katrina and I are a part of, highlighting some wrestlers there. So don't forget to check out the website for our articles. Because why? This is Women's Wrestling Talk, and we are the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. And if there were any questions, you shouldn't have any, because we're here every day doing the things for y'all. So come back and join us tomorrow. Come back and join us tonight. Come back and join us whenever you see us online. We're happy to have you. Hit us up on the socials. We're happy to discuss things with you guys. Until next time.
Let's put that out there. Let's do that respectfully. But always be respectful about it. Let's not do none of those shenanigans. I can't speak for all the hosts, but I know how I am, and let's not.
No shenanigans. No shenanigans. Respectfully reach out. We are happy to discuss all things wrestling. We'll put it that way. Other than that, join us back here next week. #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. We love you guys. Have a great Saturday. Bye.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.